Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please rise and join the board in the pledge. Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing and join the board in a moment of silence as we honor our veterans and our first responders. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Was that me?
Sorry,
Was
sorry,
me?
that was me, that was me.
The business thing. I will entertain a motion for approval of bills and payroll.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Casado. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Rivera.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Resolved to approve the minutes of the meetings of the Board of Trustees from February 1st, February 8th, and February 15th, 2023. Motion.
Motion by trustee Casado. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Salaski. I will abstain from the February 15th minutes. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
That's it. Okay, Mr. Chacon.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, John G.
Good evening.
I have 7 resolutions tonight for the new firehouse headquarters, general construction, plumbing, and electrical, A through G.
Okay, so these are change orders that all have to do with the new fire department headquarters. They are all with the same company, so we don't have to look at them individually. And these are relatively minor change orders as we get to, believe it or not, near completion of the firehouse, and we're hoping to be able to inaugurate it at the beginning of next month, at the beginning of April. We are hopeful that we will be able to inaugurate. So I'll accept a motion to authorize change orders 1 through, A through G, okay?
Motion.
Motion by Deputy Mayor Sartori. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Rini.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board, Mr. Gibbons.
Evening.
The first item I have for your consideration this evening is a request for a resolution to authorize the extension of the current security personal services contract for the Harrison Avenue Garage until July 31st, 2024. We have an existing contract with Eastgate. There is the ability to extend it, but we did want to do some due diligence and get some pricing on that. As it is a security personal services contract, those get adjusted by the state Department of Labor as far as the costs for the security guards, because it is a prevailing wage job. So in July, like the pool, these adjust up. But these are the current prices now based on the current prevailing wages that are required for security personnel. As you see, there are 3 quotes there. I am recommending that we keep it with Eastgate Security for these services. The funding for that is the 2022-2023 general fund budget and/or the general fund unreserved fund balance.
Okay, and this is at the Harrison Avenue Garage, and for people to understand, that is the only garage that we have that has round-the-clock security, and we will look to continue to do that at this time. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Deputy Mayor Sartori, seconded by Trustee Salaski. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. The next item I have is a request for a resolution authorizing the purchase of 8 Big Belly HC5 solar refuse collection stations with the Life Cycle Clean software and 4 HC waste liner bag boxes per the Massachusetts State FAC 113 contract pricing. Total cost is $40,528. Funding source for that is the 2022-2023 general fund budget and/or the general fund unreserved fund balance. So this will give us the availability to buy these. Now, these are an automated garbage can. All right, they are sealed unit, so as we all know, we've had some problems with the previous garbage cans that we've had to remove where garbage overflows, gets stuck underneath, vermin come to it at night. What this is a totally sealed unit, okay? There is a foot pedal or a handle that you can use. It's a smaller opening, so you can't really stuff big items in there. It is a compactor that will compact up to 150 gallons of waste in that. And the software will then send a signal to my office or the sanitation office telling us when it's filled. And then we can go and pick them up. So Mayor, wanted to make sure that we are cleaning up the downtown. And so we're gonna start with these 8 and see how they work out. I've seen them in other municipalities. It is clean around them. They are a nice looking unit. It also gives us the ability to put advertising on the sign, on the sides of them. We can have things made up like our concerts for summer and put those in there so you're notifying, or if you wanted to make things up for a special event, they can be slid into those sides. So I think it will help and offer a solution to having all extra garbage flowing in around. And so we're gonna give it a try. Mayor wanted to find something like this, and thankfully we were able to do it, so.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you, Mr. Rini. It was something that Mr. Rini and I have been discussing for quite some time. It was certainly one of the first things that I wanted to see, because although the garbage receptacles that were downtown, they look nice, they're sleek, they have the wrought iron, I think unfortunately there are people within our community and from outside the community who just have very little regard for maintaining our community clean. And then, of course, you have weather events, wind and rain and things like that. And they were open at the top, so obviously this encourages people to put household waste in there, entire bags in there. And then people, it overflows very quickly. It just is unsightly. We did remove some of those to discourage that. But we also do want to give people the opportunity that if they are walking to the train station, that they have a place to throw out their coffee cup or a small bag from breakfast or something like that. And both I and Ms. Rini have seen these in our travels. They are secure. They are smart garbage cans, if you will, where our sanitation workers on their route will know that they don't have to stop at that particular one today because it's only 25% full. And it certainly saves time, it economizes, and hopefully it encourages people, re-educates people that these cans that we have, or these receptacles that we have in and around our downtown are for small items of garbage. It's not, we have our own traditional residential and commercial sanitation schedule to pick up garbage, and that will continue, but those items are supposed to be put in front of your house or in front of your business at the right time. This should not be going on, next to these receptacles. So we're hoping that these work. If these work, then we can always order more, and there is also the ability to perhaps make some revenue down the line with advertising on the side of them. If we choose to go that route, or certainly to put some information on the side, we're able to wrap them in our logo, we can put language on it where it says, please do not throw out household garbage, because it is a pet peeve of mine, and I think it says a lot about our village. I've been getting a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails about storefronts, businesses mostly in the downtown, where there is rubbish on the streets. And again, this is fully enclosed, so the wind won't get a hold of anything. And we do know that from time to time, things do happen, animals get to it, rip it apart. But I'm really excited about this, and I want to thank Mr. Rini because he did a lot of research on this and came back with these examples that I think will serve us well in the near future, and hopefully we'll be able to expand on this program.
You know, and as the mayor said, and I meant to mention, these can be wrapped in, you know, you see cars and trucks that get wrapped, they can all be wrapped. So if the board decides, doing the downtown, they decide on a theme and come up with things, or separate themes in separate areas, you can have them wrapped in anything you want. And again, there's also that opportunity for either for the village or someone else for advertising on any of the things we do, so.
So once they're in place, you can keep on changing that?
Yes, you can,
Yeah.
yeah, especially if it's wrapped, because you can pull those off, you know.
I like it.
Yeah, so you can change it however you like, if you like.
Mr. Reedy, just a technical question. When these containers get filled, do they get unloaded at the spot, or do you cart them away?
No, you have the availability to empty them there. I'll require that we send a separate pickup for that, rather than trying to wrestle it into a truck. Send it separate pickup with, you know, a barrel. That's why I'm buying the waste liner bags as well, so they can be tied up and just tossed in there, so we don't have, you know, that refuse coming out over it, because it will be compacted. You know, a normal garbage can on the street only has a 30-gallon garbage can in it. This will compact up to 150 gallons. So, you know, there's really, it saves time in the end, because it'll tell us when it's full. It'll send us, you know, it's a cellular modem that'll send it to my computer or any other computer we put it on, saying, okay, this one is ready to be picked up. So they don't have to be checked all the time, and you just check them and change them out as they tell you to.
Like that.
And I think, together with what we approved a few weeks back with the kiosks in the downtown and the solar powered meter heads, this is a process of really bringing the downtown into the 21st century. It just makes it much more efficient for us to be able to do our jobs. And, you know, sometimes it's better to work smarter and not harder. And I think that this is a great step in that direction. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Casado. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by deputy mayor Sartori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, that's all I have, unless anybody has anything for me.
Okay, you wanna just give a quick rundown of, last night's, probably,
Oh.
hopefully, one and only,
Yes.
storm?
So, yeah, I mean, knock wood, we've had a very light winter season. You know, Monday night, it did start to snow around 10 o'clock. We brought our crews in. The village clerk's office sent the notice out to people regarding, you know, the reminder about cars if necessary. And probably, you know, somewhere around 2:15, we converted over to plowing, because it just kept coming. It wasn't a lot of snow, but it was cold enough that it wasn't melting. So we switched over to plowing. By 6 a.m., we were completed. It was on the bottom very watery, so I did, you know, tell our operators to please go slowly, because it will move fast, and it did. You know, thankfully, with, you know, using the salt and the brine prior, it created, you know, that layer between that we didn't get a freeze bond at all, and it moved right off. They didn't have to go fast to try and get it off. A lot of times when they have to do that, there's a lot of water, or there's a lot of volume of snow, and we gotta move that water for fear of freezing. But, you know, we knew the next day the temperatures would eventually go up. But, you know, again, it was, we did have some issues with equipment, because it's the first time they really got used, but we got through it, and they did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you. They sure did. You know, this morning getting to work, not that I have a long commute, was certainly not a challenge at all.
But it's
So-
commuting through the village, so.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
please pass it on to the gentleman in DPW.
I
as well.
absolutely will.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. And sanitation, who also went out today and obviously did their job under these conditions. So
Absolutely.
hopefully, it was a nice, kind of just primer to get ready, but last one, we're good.
One and done.
Yeah.
One
First-
and done.
First and
Like
last,
that.
yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Thank you.
Mr. O'Keefe.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, Mr. Gibbons. tonight I'm presenting the monthly report for February for the building department. When it comes to permits taken in and licenses approved, for residential, we have 17. For commercial, we have 9. The BOT and BZA, we have 3. For plumbing, we have 22. Electric, we have 28. Our title searches are at 11. COs, CFCs, and CAs are at 28. License to do business is at 37, totaling fees at $60,569. For the notice of violations paid, we had 3 paid this month, totaling an amount of $2,369.
Thank you. It's kind of a slow month. It's a short month, so.
Short
you know,
month, quiet month for
Yeah,
work.
for work.
We'll be picking up soon, so.
I am sure of that. Okay, thank you, Ms. Overkeep.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Mr. Gibbons?
No report, Mayor.
No report, okay, thank you. With that, anybody on the board, on the work session? No? I'll entertain a motion to close the work session.
Motion?
Motion by trustee Casado, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Salaski, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go right into the public meeting. So I'd ask you once again to please all rise. Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing in honor of our veterans and our first responders. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Couple of announcements that I would like to make. Last evening, I had the opportunity to attend the WARM Association Girl Scouts Gold, Silver, and Bronze Award. WARM stands for the Wilstons, Albertson, Roslyn, Mineola Girl Scouts. What was special about yesterday is that they had not had this ceremony since 2019. So we had girls who are now in 8th and 9th grade who are getting recognized for things that they did in 5th and 6th grade. It was held right here in Chaminade. It was very impressive, talking about dozens and dozens, perhaps hundreds of young girls in Girl Scouting who achieved anything from the Bronze Award all the way up to the Gold Award. So it was my honor, my privilege to attend that and to recognize those young ladies from our community and from surrounding communities, and also recognize their leaders, their troop leaders, and of course their parents. When you think about it, within the last 3 years to earn gold, silver, and bronze, they were doing this during COVID. You know, they were doing this during a difficult time to be able to have meetings, let alone be able to complete the projects that they did that involved anything from dealing with veterans, with pets, with animals, concussions. One of the Gold Star recipients was someone who did an educational project on the dangers of concussions. So it was a great evening. I was glad that I was able to attend. This coming weekend, I believe, or perhaps next weekend, the Mineola High School girls bowling team, who are the undefeated Nassau County champions, didn't lose a single game all year, okay? Not just matches, they were undefeated, literally did not lose a frame, a game, you know, undefeated. They will be competing at the New York State bowling championships, and we wish them well. And of course, regardless of how they do, we're certainly gonna have them here once again. It's kind of becoming an annual tradition with the bowling team. They do an amazing job within the next few weeks to recognize them, hopefully for being state champs. Joe Kesey, a Mineola resident, placed 5th in the Nassau County Wrestling Championships, as someone who wrestled in high school and then coached for many, many years, only people who have wrestled understand how difficult of a sport it is to achieve that level of success. And then we also had several all-county groups in our indoor track and field, including one of the Sartori boys here in the 4x400, 4x400. So congratulations to all those award winners from Mineola High School. And lastly, on my behalf and the behalf of my family, I want to thank everyone for reaching out to me over these last 2 weeks over the loss of our father. And I want you to know that your thoughts, your prayers, your messages, your emails, your texts certainly were a comfort to myself and to my brothers and to my mother as we laid our father to rest. So I was really touched by the outpouring of support, and although I was 3,000 miles away, I really felt the closeness of my friends here on the board, my friends here in the village, at Mineola High School, and just really all around town. So I can't say enough about how much that meant to us to have that support. So thank you very much. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Since our last meeting, I joined both members of our board, plus some other members from our legislative body, to the ribbon cutting of Nadia's Pizza here on Main Street. So we welcome them, and excellent pizza. So I hope you all support them as a new business here in Mineola. In addition, Talio's Pizza here in Mineola, the chef there will be on Chopped on Food Network on March 28th. So let's cheer him on as well, which is very exciting for him. And last but not least, on Sunday, I hope you all join us for our St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's kicking off at 1 o'clock on Sunday. It's always a fun-filled day, a lot of festivities, music, fun, and some good energy. It should be some good weather, and I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, absolutely. Trustee Casado?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. As the Deputy Mayor stated, Sunday, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, but I wanted to add another date to remember. Sunday, March 26th, the Junior Fire Department's Pasta Dinner, another great event for our village. And it's going to be held here in our community center, and I hope to see you on Sunday.
Thank you, Mr. Casado. Mr. Clark?
Good evening, everyone. Just a few more notes on the parade for this Sunday, March 5th. It, as was said, will be opening up on the County Courthouse Drive at 12 o'clock is lineup time. At 1 o'clock, the parade will step off and come down Mineola Boulevard to Jericho Turnpike, turn right into Jericho, and come past and stop in front of the firehouse. It's going to be a large parade. There's many organizations, many bands. It's shaping up to be the largest St. Patrick's Day parade in Nassau County, probably on Long Island. So I invite everyone to come out and enjoy the day. The festivities start at 10 a.m. at the Irish Center on Willis Avenue, at 297 Willis Avenue, with Mass at 10 a.m. So everyone is welcome to come there and attend church, and then move along to the parade. Following the parade, there's another celebration back at the Irish Center. There'll be music, food, dancing for the afternoon. Also, there'll be a party at the Knights of Columbus Hall, and then down at St. James Restaurant is having a celebration also. That you're invited to, attend all or three of these events. Just enjoy the day and have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Solosky.
Thank you. There was a kickoff to Mardi Gras. It was a fundraiser at Biscuits and Barbecue for the Mineola Volunteer Ambulance Corps. I was there. The food was delicious as always, and I hope that the residents were out there supporting MVAC. And I just want to reiterate what everyone else is saying. Please come out to the parade, enjoy yourself. The weather should be nice, and hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Solosky. I wanted to leave it for Trustee Clark to talk about the parade, because he's very humble, but he's a parade chairman, former Grand Marshal of the parade, and it really doesn't happen without him. And he was really instrumental in bringing the parade here in 2010, I want to say, 2010. We're so glad to have it in Mineola. they are probably celebrating their 70-something year.
76.
76th year of doing that. Mr. Casado remembers the first one.
Even though I'm Italian.
No, we're all Irish on,
Yes, we are.
not just on March 5th, but all of March. And I hate to put a damper on things, but on a more serious note, because I'm gonna keep saying it until it gets heard, and we have limited time. Tomorrow at 10:45 a.m. at the Manhasset train station, there's going to be a press conference regarding Governor Hochul's housing compact once again. And I know that there are many parts of the budget that people are going to disagree with, whether it's the payroll tax, or it is, congestion pricing, or the housing compact, or AIM funding, or any number of things. But for me, this housing compact, I can't stress enough how ill-conceived it is, how dangerous it is, and how, if it does go through, how it will change the landscape of not just our community, but of the entire island. And I also think that it is being presented in a way that has some overtones that somehow, by villages like Mineola wanting to protect its ability to control its destiny when it comes to how and where and when we build, that somehow means that we want to be exclusionary of certain groups of people. I don't know if anyone's ever taken a look around Mineola, but we're pretty inclusionary, we're pretty diverse, and we will continue to do that. We have embraced diversity. We have an Irish American Center, we have an Italian American Civic Association, we have several Portuguese American associations. So I think we're okay on that. And we're also okay on smart growth, transit-oriented development, and streamlining our processes when it comes to zoning and things of that nature. So I don't think we need any advice from the state. We certainly don't need any lectures from the state, and we certainly don't need them sticking their nose in here. And I know that you may think that I am making more of this than it really is, but it's serious. And it's serious because, and I'll share something with you, I have made myself available to the governor's representatives to speak about this, to show them what we've done in Mineola and how we've gone about it. And we are now, today is March 1st, the budget is due April 1st, and crickets, right? Because they don't really want to be exposed. So we need to continue to make noise. We need to continue to reach out to our local officials. I can tell you that they're all in agreement, from our state senators, whether it's State Senator Thomas, State Senator Martins, from our assembly person, Ed Ra, the county, the town, everyone is beating the same drum, and rightfully so. So tomorrow morning, 10:45, at the Manhasset train station, there will be yet another press conference, and I hope that the governor listens, and I hope that, the governor will reconsider, and rather than trying to shove this down our throats, will come to the table, meet with mayors. Nassau County has 64 mayors. The town of North Hempstead has 32 or 33 mayors. Both are the largest numbers of villages in the state. We like it that way. So again, your part is call the governor, email your state representatives, do what you can to just keep the pressure on, because this could get lost. A lot of times when it comes to budgets, it's about school aid. This year it may be about the payroll tax, it may be about bail reform, and often driven by New York City. And regardless of whether you're a Democrat or Republican, this is not a Democrat or Republican issue when it comes to protecting our suburban quality of life. This is about whether or not you think that the officials that you elect here should be the ones that ultimately have control over our destiny when it comes to zoning? Or do you think that some agency who may have never stepped foot in Mineola can override our authority? So it's that serious, and not to get into ADUs, auxiliary, dwelling units and all of that, but please continue to keep the pressure on, continue to make phone calls. If you don't know numbers or who to call, reach out to Village Hall here, to our clerk, and we will give you all the information that you need, okay? With that, Mr. Haydyuk.
That lady wants my address?
I have it here.
Okay, good. The reason why
Good
I'm...
evening, good evening, Mr. Haydyuk. Happy
Okay,
New
good.
Year.
Okay.
Long time since we've seen you. Welcome.
Thank you. That CVS building on the corner of Emery Road and Kamikaze Express Turnpike, what is to become of that? One of my biggest fears, Mayor, was when they closed that building down, that the homeless will try to move in there. I'm going home about 3 weeks ago. There's this lady walking down my driveway. So I said, Miss, could I help you? She said, I'm looking for the moon. I said, well, listen, it would be deeply appreciated if you would leave my driveway so you don't get hurt. Now, I don't know whether she was going for the back door to see whether the back door was open or not. I don't know to this day, but I bribed her and she left, and I thank God that I didn't have no problems. Now, I got a affirmation that that's going to turn into a parts store, an automobile parts store. The Advance.
Yeah, that's what that's...
Yeah? Have we had any applications for that? About that?
Is that definite?
Well,
Oh, so that's going to be Advance. Good.
which is, Mr. Haydyuk, it's an as-of-right use for that area, so better to have something in there.
Oh, I agree with you.
Than something
I agree
that's-
with you. I had an experience with that. Now, it's going to be strictly retail. Am I correct? They're going to sell auto parts. They're not going to fix flat tires. They're not going to change oil back on the side.
There's no service that
It's just going to be retail.
Retail. Just so for the people
Good.
at home, we have Ms. O'Keefe here from the building department. The application will only permit them to be a retail operation, so there'll be no fixing cars, there'll be no service station element of it, no gas station element of it. Most AutoZone operations are just that. They are, car parts from,
Now,
from soup to nuts.
what time is it going to open in the morning, and what time is it going to close at night? Did you know offhand?
I don't know offhand.
No? You don't know?
It won't be 24 hours.
No, well, I live 5 houses down from that auto store that's supposed to come there. Now, another time I was worrying, I got up in the middle of the night, I looked out the window, and there's this homeless woman walking down Emery Road about 3 o'clock in the morning. And she's trying the cars. She's looking for a place to flop. So I thought, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Now, that gate on Andrews Road is supposed to be locked, am I correct?
I believe the original decision for the CVS was just that.
Yes.
Yes.
And they got a back door to that CBS building, And to me, it looked like somebody's trying to jimmy it open. I would be deeply appreciated if you could send the police down there just to check it out. To
Well-
see if somebody's trying to break in that building during the night.
What I would suggest you do, Mr. Hayduck, because the three things that you described, someone walking up your driveway,
That's
or
it.
someone walking down the street that you believe to be homeless, checking car doors, or someone trying to force their way into that business, obviously, you should call the police immediately. And I was just with our POP officers today, our problem-oriented policing group. There's 4 of them. And and I don't doubt that perhaps that individual was homeless, but what we also have are people going around, there are these groups of individuals from out of town who come in and they're looking to either steal cars or steal catalytic converters,
Well,
or
we had
or
that
steal
on our
something,
street,
right,
too.
or steal something of value inside the car. So obviously, again, lock your cars, make sure you lock your cars. If you have to park them on the street, try to park them in an as well lit as possible. If you can park them in your driveway, try to park as far back as possible.
So that was my responsibility.
But certainly, that's your responsibility to call the police. I mean, if that's at 3 in the morning, we're not around. And just to hammer home what they tell us all the time, when you call 911, you're not taking someone away. You're not taking a squad car away from some emergency. The calls come in, they are prioritized, they go out, and it's important because then they find these people lots of times, because they may be gone from your block, but they may be on the next block. So please, call 911, because if they are in fact homeless, the police have the methods and the connections to be able to try at least to offer them help, right? And to call for help, whether it's to take them to NUMC, Nassau University Medical Center, or obviously if they are breaking some kind of law, to arrest them and to take them in. Because someone may look homeless, and they may in fact be homeless, but they may be up to something more nefarious than just trying to find a place to
Well,
sleep.
that's what I was with that lady. I didn't know what she had,
Right.
But I got her off the driveway, so I was happy.
Did she have any, was she carrying like a shopping cart or anything
No,
with her?
no. She's just walking down there and looking, and I got her out of my driveway. So the thing is, CBS is going to turn into an auto parts retail store.
Which I think is, well, that's the plan right now. Obviously, at any point, businesses sometimes change their mind. We've had people who have applied and gotten approved and then eventually decided not to. But I think that is a good fit for that property. And I also think that alleviates some of those problems, because you're going to have people coming and going. There's going to be lighting. There's going to be activity.
You're right.
So it's
That's
it's
what I
definitely
want.
going to discourage people from, as you say, squatting there or trying to somehow gain access. So any store that is abandoned after a while certainly invites unwelcome guests, whether they are the
Definitely.
2-legged kind or the 4-legged kind, and having a business in there will certainly help. And there'll be, and Mr. Gibbons, correct me if I'm wrong, but the special use or whatever regulations were made run with the property, right?
With the property.
With the property,
Not the person.
not the business. So if the property, if the decision had required that gate be closed, for example, for the previous business, which was a CVS, then it needs to be closed. If it said that their garbage containers had to be fenced in and the fence had to be closed, that will also continue. If it required that their landscaping be maintained, that will continue. If it required that they shovel, of course, it's a no-brainer, the sidewalks around their property, because I know we had problems with CVS doing that. We'll make sure when it comes around that Mr. O'Keefe will pay them a visit and remind them of what the responsibilities are that come with operating on that parcel of land, so which do not change. If they want relief from any of those things, they would have to come back to us and seek relief, which I don't think they will. And I don't know, I mean, I know AutoZone business model, I would probably say that they would be open, 8 AM to 9 PM, probably at the latest. So, and I don't think they produce a lot of noise. They certainly don't produce any smells. We'll also look into deliveries, when they get deliveries. And again, if the previous CVS could not get deliveries, and even garbage pickup, we'll look at all those things. We don't want them picking up garbage, waking up the neighborhood, because trucks are beep, 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 backing up. So we'll make sure that from signs to interior, any kind of interior changes, structural changes, plumbing, electrical, all of that has to go through the building department.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hayden.
Board,
Good
thank
seeing
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Good.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to close the public meeting. Motion by trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by deputy mayor Sartori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Again, this Sunday, March 5th, 1 o'clock kickoff down by Old Country Road. The annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, finishing up here on Jericho Turnpike, right in front of the Knights of Columbus and our firehouse. Hope to see you all there. Take care. Have a great night.
Deputy Mayor?
Yes.